Joining us today is Cristin Kampsnider, Vice President at the Gary Sinise Foundation. Cristin, thanks for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Justin.
All right, a lot of people know the name Gary Sinise as, of course, Lieutenant Dan from Forrest
Yes.
Gump. But for folks who've heard the name, but they don't know the details of the foundation, what does the Gary Sinise Foundation do day to day to support our veterans?
Yeah, so the foundation was founded by Gary and it originates from he has veterans in his own family. And so it really starts from there. And then he watched and was educated how our Vietnam veterans were treated when they returned from the Vietnam War and our nation was divided. And so through the years, he was honoring our veterans way back before the Gary Sinise Foundation was even created. And it was the attacks on our country on September 11th that really catapulted him forward. And he's been supporting our nation's heroes for 40 years, and he has been so integrated in the needs, and the needs are very vast, and they are they are spread across all of our defender communities and their families. And so we meet their needs in all different ways, from, as you had mentioned, building specially adapted smart technology homes for our most severely wounded heroes. We're supporting local first responders all across the nation. We're supporting their families, the families of our fallen heroes. We actually have an event coming up here in December where we're bringing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of children and the surviving spouses of our fallen heroes, for both military and first responder, to Disney World. So
Yeah,
they
there's a
can,
special send-off in Colorado Springs,
there
right? Tell
is,
us
it's
a little
right
bit
down.
about that.
Yeah, so we're bringing our local families here from Colorado Springs. It ends up being this beautiful, like a family reunion for them, that they're surrounded by families who understand their loss, who understand what they're going through even right now. And the holiday season is often one of the most difficult times for these families. And so it's really important for us to bring them together and to not only remind them that, we remember their hero, we're saying their names, but we also don't forget about them and their sacrifices too. So they really lean on each other and have built this incredible community that's just absolutely wonderful. And it's thanks to the supporters of the Gary Sinise Foundation that we can do that.
Well, let's get back to Veterans Day for a moment. It's a time for gratitude for sure, but it's also about action. What
Yeah.
would you say is one thing that people watching this can do this Veterans Day to truly support veterans in their community?
You know, People often ask Gary that question all the time, and his answer is always the same, is that to look within your own community. If we could all take the time to just show our appreciation, and if you see a veteran or if you see someone, they often wear a hat, or if they're, a person in uniform, and just thank them for their service, and take a moment. There's a lot of local VFWs, and just showing the gratitude of a grateful nation I served in the Marine Corps myself, and hearing someone say thank you means a lot. It can change a day. It can change someone's demeanor, and I see that every day at the Gary Sinise Foundation. We do that, and it's just I recommend everybody just go within your local community,
I
and
think that's really important what you're saying, because sometimes thank you just doesn't seem like enough. But
it
when you do
totally.
talk to veterans, just and people who are supporting veteran foundations, you really do hear them talk about just that recognition, because
Yep,
it can be easy to forget that, the people among you in your own community, what they've done and their
exactly.
sacrifice. So it is okay to just say thank you. And even though it doesn't
It
seem like enough, that gratitude, it's nice to know that it goes a long way for sure. For people here in Colorado who want to get involved, what's the best way to connect with the foundation to make a difference?
Visit our website. It's GarySiniseFoundation.org. There's so much wonderful information for you to learn about all the different ways that we're supporting our nation's heroes. And for those out there who are in need of support, who are our nation's heroes, please do look us up and see what we're doing.
Yeah, we have the information up on the screen there. We definitely want people to check that out.
Thank you.
Lastly, before we go, is there one story that really shows the difference that this foundation makes you can think of? I know that's probably a tough question.
Oh
I'm sure there's so
man.
many.
One. I have been with the foundation for over 11 years, so I've had the great honor of really serving alongside Gary, and it's one that always stands in my mind, and it's just the perfect example of how Gary is. We were at a speaking event, and there's a meet and greet line, and they're just busting people through, like trying to get, because they all want to get a photo with him.
Mm.
And this one woman walks up, and I can't hear anything. It's loud. It's chaos in here. And she says something to him, and they get a photo real quick, and she walks off, and Gary looks at the camera and runs. And in this crowd, just runs to the woman and gives her the biggest hug. And we're all confused, and like the photographers, screaming like, "Ah, what's going on?"
Mm.
And turns out she had just lost her husband, and he was a first responder. And he just needed to take the moment to talk to her. And she has kids, and he invited her to come to our Snowball Express, our event in December. And she ended up coming. And it's one of those things where, like, there's no cameras, it's a moment that would probably no one would ever remember, or, other than like her probably. But it's those moments, and there's so many of them, countless ones that it's just, you don't really see. And it's really at the heartbeat, it's what the Gary Sinise Foundation is like at the heart of us. And that's really just that kind of connection. So it's the one that always sticks in my mind. I always think about that one, and it's just
Thank you
it
for
never
sharing
goes
that
back.
story. Well,
Yeah,
Cristin Kampsnider, Vice President of the Gary Sinise Foundation, thank you for joining us, and thank you for all of the work that you do to support
thank you.
America's heroes.
I appreciate you, Justin. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Again, you can learn more about the foundation and its programs right now at GarySineseFoundation.org.